9th of November, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, the plant's not looking the best, but we've still got flowers that are opening, we've still got buds. I haven't deadheaded, so the reason it looks a mess is because I haven't been keeping up to it, but it's not often I do much deadheading at this time of year, to be honest. This is the area that I'm planning to tackle today. So let's get on with it. So this is the area I'm weeding. Now, we've got quite a few foxgloves, which, as you can see over here, I'm leaving because I want them to flower next year. But we've got a lot of creeping buttercup and dandelions, mainly. A few more foxgloves over here. I might relocate those. I'm tempted to do that, but where I want them is where we're going to be doing work, so I think maybe that might not be the best idea. There's all sorts of stuff blown around over here, so the ground's very wet today. We get a lot of bindweed here as well. I think it kind of grows in the gap between that house's fence and the wall. Obviously there's a big bramble there and you can see there's bindweed in there. And we are an organic plot, so, you know, I'm pleased with how weed-free the 2 beds that I weeded a few weeks ago have stayed. Obviously it's cold, so there won't be much germinating, but, you know, I'm pretty pleased with that. Dad's taken down his rebar fence to an extent, fence arch to an extent. Still need to clear that up, find somewhere for it. I don't really want to get rid of the rebar, but it's not very safe for us to use, but it's a good, useful. We don't like to waste things if we can avoid it. The station's still looking alright, look at this. And I've got my climbing rose here. This is a rambling rector. Now, it wasn't in flower this year because it was covered in bindweed and I don't think it had a good prune for a while, so I cut it back earlier, but I didn't do it in a cutting back a nice rose kind of way. I did it in a get off the bindweed kind of way. So you think about training that along this wall, and then this wall I'm thinking of turning it into a perennial cut flower bed. So look into some perennial varieties of flowers, because this is just, you know, I'm not going to use this for veg because the rambling rose is going to get quite big and there's plenty of beds, and I do want to, as I've said before, grow cut flowers as well. So I think that's what we'll do with that bed. Probably get loads of nasturtiums going next year. This bed is where my onions and garlic is going. Well, some of it, because I've ordered more since I decided this is where it's going to go. And over here you can see we've got the asparagus bed. It needs weeding again. Need to get that everlasting creeping buttercup out of there, and there's a foxglove that I'll move. There was a Verbena bonariensis in here, but I think it's gone. Somebody's weeded my Verbena bonariensis out. One thing I wanted. And this bed that we cleared, we've piled it back up again with stuff just to start, and again it's just going to suppress those weeds and stop them growing back. Hopefully the roots will die off over the winter, but we'll have to see what's there when it comes to planting. I was considering planting some tulips in here because I'm going to grow squash. Thanks to one of you for your suggestion, I'm going to grow squash in this bed next year. The sort of larger squash. I'm going to have a pumpkin arch for smaller varieties, but this will be where I'll probably grow my like Crown Prince and Queensland Blue and things like that, which was a great idea. So again, we've got stuff piled up on this side. Unfortunately, my husband's put that on there. I'd forgotten to tell him there was a cat poo in there that we needed to clear up first, so I'll let him sort that out. Yeah, there's my cabbages. They need weeding again. They're not looking so good, but again, you see we've got clubroot on this plot, so this is more of an experiment really. The variety on these is April, which is when it crops. So yes, well, let's stop putting off this weeding and get on with it, eh? Just popped into the polytunnel because I'm cold. It's a lot warmer in here. Look at these chrysanthemums. Look at them. I can't show you because they're taller than me. Considerably taller than me. I'm 5'3", so these are, some of them are well over 6 foot. How incredible are they? It's hard to get a good shot of them from down here on one-handed. Ooh, hello, beautiful. They're amazing. Amazing. There you go, guys. November flowers. It's 9th of November today. Cucumbers are still doing it, but they are getting a bit rotten now. It's the show my dad wanted to go to this weekend, I think. Not sure how things are going to go. That one looks alright, but it's got some... I'll take that mouldy stuff off from around it and see if it cleans up. So it's not looking the best. But yeah, hopefully he'll have something that he can take. Well, lettuces are doing alright. Some of them better than others, but isn't that always the case? That little one in the middle, not done much. But some of them are looking good. That one's looking alright. Plastic, clear that away. And that one's looking good there. Oh yeah, quite happy with that. Perpetual spinach still not gone out. Came and watered it the other day. I hadn't seen it for 2 weeks. Surprised it had survived at all. I assume maybe my dad watered it when he came up. So I'll find somewhere for that. Let me know in the comments whether you think I should put this in the polytunnel or outside. I'm struggling a bit for space in here, so yeah, outside might be the best. Let me know what you think. Okay, so I'm really happy with what I've done here. Obviously there's still a lot of green in there, but that's just some small annual weeds and just leaf litter left behind. I've got the main things out, except that dandelion over there, which I could not shift. It's really close to the wall and it's really huge, so we'll get that out, but I'm not too fussed about getting every last bit out, you know. I do want to get it out of the main part of the bed for when we plant out, but you know, I didn't do this bed like I was going to, but I'll show you why. I'm in the brassica cage now. This is where the dahlias were, and my dad's emptied the compost from the carrots onto there, so I'm going to use that as a mulch. I'm going to weed all this, get those leeks out. Such a shame about those leeks. They look really, really good, and then something just battered them. We left the gate open, the door rather, and like a fox or something maybe got in and just crushed it all. So I'm going to weed this, and I'm going to rake out this over there, get rid of the canes, and this is going to be a brassica cage again. Now, as I mentioned, this plot's got clubroot and it's all over, and it basically means that it's very difficult to grow brassicas on this site. But what we're going to do in here is I'm going to create a path. I'm going to put some wooden sides on and wood chip and bring it down to about 4/5 of the way down. Just a small one, nothing big. I don't want to take up too much space, just so that we don't have to walk on the soil. And it's well mulched is this area. I'm going to drag out that compost, mulch it with that, and then in the spring I'm going to add lime, probably around March time. I'm going to add lime to the beds, and that will raise the pH, and that will help to fend off the clubroot. I'm also growing some clubroot resistant brassicas, so I'll show you the seed packets when I get home. I'll show you what I'm going to be growing, and what you do is you sow them and you pot them on, and you pot them onto a bigger size than you would normally, and that gives them a fighting chance against the clubroot, and then we'll see how we get on. There's been clubroot on this plot for 20 years, so it's not going anywhere, and all of the solutions are very damaging and not things I want to do. So we're just going to see how we get on with the clubroot resistant brassicas and go from there. So there we go. I've done the cage. There's a little bit down here by the door, but it's weeded down there anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some wood to make wooden sides for the path. Like I said, it's going to go about 4/5 of the way down. This is a big space. It's about 2.5 metres by about 4 metres. So it is a big space, and you need somewhere to walk when you're in here, obviously. So we're just going to put some wood chip down. I'll put some cardboard on and then some wood chip over the top, and that'll make our path. And then we'll lime this in the spring, as I've said. Now it's time for me to go home because I am absolutely desperate for a cuppa and I'm starving. So I'm going to go home, have some dinner, and have a look at the seeds we're going to be sowing in this bed. Hi, so I'm home. I'm actually 2 weeks in the future from where you're watching the video because we've had a mad couple of weeks. But I'm going to insert this in as if it was later that day, but it wasn't. So these are the club root resistant varieties that I'm growing. So Calabrese Monclano, cauliflower F1 Clapton, cabbage Kilotron, or Kiloton, sorry. Kilotron makes it sound like a transformer, doesn't it? And Brussels sprout crispus. Now, I have since discovered that there are a few more varieties. There's a Savoy cabbage, which is my favourite kind of cabbage, and there's also a Swede. There's a Swede and Turniper brassicas as well, and I wasn't sure how they would work, given that they are the root. It's the root that you eat, and it's the root that the club root affects. So I'm going to grow the resistant varieties, and we'll see how we get on. Haven't yet found a resistant kale. Kale's probably not one of my favourite veg, but I would still like to grow it because it's very good for you, and I will eat it. But yeah, so I'm pleased with these, and I'm going to get some more. Obviously, these are from Simply Seed. I bought and paid for these myself. Obviously, this is not an ad in any way whatsoever. So yes. Oh, roll on spring so I can get sowing them, eh? I'm pleased with what I've achieved today. Still need to finish fixing the compost bins so that we can start to clear. Like, we've got piles of compost over there, we've got a pile over there, or material for the compost bin, so we need to get that fixed so we can turn it around and get it sorted and have a big old tidy up. So today it's Saturday, so we're up together, and I'm going to work on this area. I've just cleared some stuff off the table here. Ooh, slipping. I got some little friends to remove. I won't hurt them, don't worry. I'll just, move them. I'm going to get rid of the dahlias today. I don't think I'm going to save the tubers. They've been lovely, but I want to choose some different ones for next year, maybe, if I have them at all. So I'm going to move this table, I'm going to move all the stuff from this area, and just so that I can get in and get this cleared. This bed, as I've said before, is coming down and is going to be rebuilt. Not today because we don't have the timber. And while I'm doing that, Mark's been working on the compost bins. He's informed me he's got some footage, so I shall show you what he's been up to. But they're looking really good now. I've just emptied that green tub in there and left it in there because that is my style, which Mark will tell you. What he's doing, there is an old compost bin down here that is untouched for quite a while, and he's just putting some posts in so that he can remake it. There's a lot of good compost in there potentially, a lot of roots as well. So yeah, it's a really big space as well. It's probably about 1.4 metres across, something like that. So yeah. He's not doing bad, are you?
Yeah.
Not bad? There are little flies everywhere because he's moved the compost from one side to another, so the plot is absolutely full of tiny little flies. This is a job for another day. It's an overwhelming job, isn't it? Well, we're about halfway through. Dahlias are left behind now. We've dismantled the bed, moved all the stuff that was being stored in that area, and that's it. That's it for dahlias for another year. And they've gone in the compost bin because I decided not to keep them. So yeah, let's get this soil shifted. If you saw our last video, you'll have seen that Mark made 10 planters out of pallet collars in our garden at home, and these are the leftover bits which he's using now to make fronts for this compost bin, so that's a bit of recycling there. Piece 3 pieces together. He's just said he misses his drill. He's doing a good job again. No, it's almost 4 o'clock and we're losing the light now. We've made good progress. The bed has gone, some of the weeds have gone, and so this you can see now, there's gaps in the paving. So we're going to get some timber and rebuild this bed. I'd like it to be quite high because this year's going to be my cut flower bed, but in future I'd like to make this a really nice accessible bed for my kids to use, because there's this little patio area here and I just think it'd be nice for them to grow their own veg in there one day. So yeah, I must confess I did have help. Digging all that compost out was hard work, so Mark did help me there. This channel is turning into more of a look what my husband does on my allotment kind of video, isn't it? But so he's just packing away now. I'm gonna go pick the kids up from my no doubt exhausted parents. They will have been terrorising them for a couple of hours, and we'll be back soon. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, I'd be more than grateful. Take care, bye.